video for fire extinguishers. A few parts to this. First is understanding what kind of fire I have. So a Class A fire is going to be an ordinary combustible. A Class B fire is going to be my combustible flammable liquids and gases. A Class C fire is energized electrical equipment. A Class D fire will be my metals, and a K fire would basically be a kitchen fire that we would have to deal with. So knowing that type of fire then allows me to pick the proper extinguishing agent. I have a water can, 2.5 gallon water can here. This could be a regular water can for my ordinary combustible Class A's, or this can have a foam additive to it, like an AFFF foam, that would allow me to work a little bit more with some of my B's, but still really with my A's, so for a Class A fire. I have a CO2 extinguisher. My CO2 extinguisher is going to be used for my Class B and C fires, primarily. I have a dry chemical extinguisher. The dry chem is used for my A, B, or C, for whatever purpose I want. I have a Class D, which is my combustible metals, and then I have my Class K extinguisher. We want to understand how the agents work, so obviously our water is going to help cool that product, right? CO2 is going to remove the oxygen from there. Dry chemical will help to interrupt that chemical chain reaction. My K is a dry chemical agent that's going to smother and basically form a shell over some of that metal that's burning. And my K works in a saponification process. It's like a soapy formation that helps to smother and cool the fire for a kitchen fire. So when we approach and we go to pick what we're going to use, we always want to make ourselves safe. So we're going to make sure that we are on air if we need to, and that we have enough air. So checking my remote gauge and making sure that I'm on air. Keep in mind that any type of Class D fire and K fires burn extremely hot. Those will always be in ideal H condition for us because of the temperatures. So if I were to pick my extinguisher and I had an ordinary fire, I could grab my A. I would verify that my gauge was in the good range. It should be sealed. It should have a pin. I would remove my pin. I'm always going to test it, and then I would apply the pass method. So I'm going to basically pull the pin. I'm going to aim at the base of the fire, squeeze and sweep until the fire is out. With a water extinguisher, I can take my finger and put it over the tip and use it like a fan spray to distribute that material also. If I had a Class B or a C fire, I could use my CO2 extinguisher. CO2 extinguishers don't have a gauge, so it has to have a pin and it has to have a seal on it. Otherwise, technically, we don't know if it's full or not. So I would remove that, I would give it a test, I would go ahead again and aim at the bottom. I'm going to squeeze and sweep. Remember, if I'm dealing with a Class C fire, I want to control electric. I want to make sure the electric's off. That makes this be basically a Class A fire at that point, or a B fire. So you would take that away. So we want to control the energized equipment. Again, I can use a dry chem extinguisher on my ordinary combustibles. I can also use it on my Class Bs if I need to. For C fires, you can use it too, but again, you must control the electric for that. My D fires, my burning metals, I will use my Class D extinguisher. Sometimes you'll see this also in a pail. It won't be in an extinguisher, actually a pail that we would use. Same methods. We're going to pull the pin, we're going to aim, we're going to squeeze, and we're going to sweep. Always testing before we approach. My last one I have is my K. Once again, making sure the gauge is good, pulling the pin, aiming, squeezing, sweeping. When we're done with any of our extinguishers after we've used them, we want to lay them on their side and preferably tag them that they're out of service. The only extinguisher that we don't have here to demonstrate would be basically a clean agent. Clean agents they replace the halons. They're used for electrical and for sensitive equipment, basically. It doesn't leave a residue, it doesn't cause much of a problem.